price that we must pay to be close to Yah is often a cost too expensive. Hi, this is Barry Phillips of 10-Minute Torah. Day number 1 of another double Torah portion, Acharei after the death, and Kedoshim, or set-apart ones. We begin today in Leviticus chapter 16, verse 1 and 2, which read, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, that would be Nadav and Abihu, as they drew near before Yahweh and died. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Speak to Aaron your brother not to come in at all times to the set-apart place, that would be the Holy of Holies, inside the veil before the lid of atonement which is on the ark, lest he die. Because I appear in the cloud above the lid of atonement. The ancient ones, as we've discussed in times past, perceived that Yah was too restricted, too set apart, so holy, so extreme that there was no way that he had an ability to relate to him. And so mankind chose to worship the intermediary bodies, as he would discern them to be. That is, the sun, the moon, and the planets, the stars, and whatever powers they imagined were delegated to these lights in the heavens to control activity on the earth. They imagined then that these were gods who controlled the various aspects of daily life, from their cultivation of fields to their businesses to their fertility, etc. So man deceived himself into being in a place where he was more comfortable. He reimagined the Creator to his own desires, his own imaginations. He thought it worked. What he did is, in his astute wisdom, he became stupid and he deceived himself. So after the storyline takes a pause at the death of Nadav and Abihu on the initial day of the priestly inauguration, we have for 5 chapters now studied the topic of clean and unclean. Now, obviously, these are inserted strategically at this point. With chapter 16, we pick back up on the narrative. But Yah has, in his design of the Torah, given to us a insert here, a parenthetical insert that says, it's important that as you approach me, that you understand what the idea of clean and unclean really is. This is one of the main teachings of the Levitical priesthood. It is their role and their assigned duty to teach this to Am Israel. And our Greco-Roman Hellenized Western culture mindset, we don't understand these terms. We understand the idea of if you are dirty, that is, you have debris or dirt or stains on you, go take a bath. Use soap and water and wash it off. We understand cleaning your house or washing your clothes or your automobile. We understand soap and water. What we don't understand and can't conceive in our minds through our cultural training is the idea of ritual purity. And we've discussed this over the last couple of weeks. The idea that there is a spiritual set-apartness that is required in order for us to approach Yah at our most effective best. So these are things that we're going to have to learn and pay more attention to, especially in the days of temple life, whenever that is reconstructed, and especially in the days of the kingdom, which are probably a lot closer than what we would imagine. So, Nadav and Abihu have died. We have been given a long and lengthy, detailed teaching on clean and unclean. Now we come back to this wilderness journey setting where Yah is not hidden away on top of a mountain or in the heavens somewhere, but his house is right in the middle of the camp of Israel. He's close. Maybe we should say he is uncomfortably close. And so with that, Israel is living in the uncomfortable zone. Most of us would prefer to live in the comfort zone. And that's pretty much where we find ourselves. Whether it's consciously or subconsciously, we find the spiritual regimen and processes to which leave us comfortably close to our Creator, but not so uncomfortably close that it's dangerous. At least in our perception, it's dangerous. And so we know about how far to pray. We know about how much study is required. And we come into times where we have this yearning. I want to know more, and so we study more. I want to feel more, and so we pray, and then we worship more. And we're looking for this mental and emotional connection to Him. The problem is that leaves us in a comfort zone where we are comfortably aligned with Him, we are aware of Him, we can, and to some degrees, discern Him. But what we're failing to do is become spiritually aware of Him. Don't take me wrong. Prayer, worship, attendance to your congregations, if you have one, doing the works of the Torah, these are important. They all have their role. But again, they leave us primarily mentally and physically attached, comfortable, emotionally attached, comfortable. It's the spiritual part where we delve into the root of our being. We get more in tune with not only that we have done things that are good or bad, but why we do good or bad. What is it that motivates us? What am I hungering for before Him? We at times will go into a place of prayer where we become weeping. Tears will flow. Maybe you even have a sense of His divine presence, and there's this sense of connection. But at some point, when it becomes uncomfortable, where it gets down into a very real part of us, we tend to cut that off. It's very few that will pursue Him to a place where Yah is dramatically changing the very core being of who we are and aligning it more with His abilities and with His identity. So it is the yearning of man to draw close to Yah's presence, but there is only this gulf that we see between us. He is so set apart. How can I get there? To remain in our comfort zone then says that we will dilute the reality of Yah and water Him down to make Him more accessible in our estimation. This is no different than what the ancient pagans did in their own processes. We try to redefine Yah. What is at the root of this? Well, I'm glad you asked. One thing I see that is at the root of this is that man sometimes believes himself to have come to a place of esteem and worth because he has gained knowledge. The problem is that in the gaining of knowledge, he convinces himself that he has acquired wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom are not the same thing. And so we have this accumulation of facts and figures, insights to the Torah. We have translations of words and all their hidden meanings hidden away in our mind, and we think that gives us wisdom. No, it's knowledge. And so in our knowledge then, we believe that we have the ability to redefine Yah more effectively for our own purposes. It doesn't work that way. And that's why in 2 Timothy chapter 3, we read the verse that says that men become lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Elohim. I heard a quote that when men have lost their purpose, they will pursue pleasure. Therein is our problem. and our wisdom we have become fools, or in the accumulated of knowledge we become fools. Seek Yah above all else. Seek Yah. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. To then, shalom.